These entitled people gave me an eye twitch. My boyfriend, 28 male, found out how much money I, 28 female, have. He wants me to pay off a house for us, as well as a new car, and fund a trip for him to go abroad. Should I end it? I mean, I'm gonna need some context, but I don't like where this is going.
I'm in danger.
I want to make it clear that I've always spent money on my boyfriend, buying him nice things and whatnot. He got his PS4 and new gaming PC because of me. My boyfriend, however, found out that I have a good amount of money and has started to be quite weird about it. Several times he's referred to my money as our money. Oh, absolutely not. Oh, no, he did not. That money is not, quote unquote, our money. Unless you're married. That's some wifey shit, okay? Yeah, boy. And even if he did propose to you at this point, like, I would be second guessing that. And using our money to buy him the luxury car he's dreamt of having. He wants us to move out of separate apartments and get a house together, and has said instead of getting him a small Christmas gift that I should fund a trip for him to see Europe. Ooh. Oh, I just got the ick majorly. I'm from Italy and I have family in Bulgaria, Croatia, and the Netherlands. And he is from Canada. We don't claim him, sorry. Buying the luxury car, it's less whether I can afford it and more seems like something you get your husband or wife and not your boyfriend of 3 years. And that's the thing, right? Is like, yes, you've got some money. It shouldn't be expected that you're going to use your money that you earned outside of the relationship to treat your boyfriend like he's your sugar baby. The minute that you have to ask, that's when you are entitled. If she wants to gift him all of these things out of her own volition because she's generous, awesome. But he asked. But he feels entitled to your money, I'm just saying. The house I can understand if we were engaged or something, but we aren't. Though he has talked about marriage several times in the past few months, and finally, yes, I can afford a trip for both of us to tour Europe. But whereas it's something I might have thought for us to do before, he only brought this up after finding out that I do have the money to pay for it. So he like literally doesn't want to contribute at all. He just expects you to pay for all these things. How are you not embarrassed? He's sprinkling you, girl. He's been watching Shara 7, I swear. Is this reason enough to break up with him? Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's one thing if like the fact that he refers to it as our money, like that is in and of itself, he feels entitled to your money.
Money, money, this money, that profit will make me wallet fat.
And even if you get married, like it kind of depends on obviously where you're from, but anything that you had before the marriage is actually separate. Even in like a legal sense, even in like let's say that you move in together and the law regards you as like common law. He is not entitled to the money that you earned before you were in a relationship with him or before marriage or before living together or whatever the law states. He actually would be entitled to your house. Half your house, where I come from, unless you otherwise like state it. But even then, it gets a little touchy. Yeah, this is just where I'm from. So obviously this doesn't apply everywhere, but I know that in Ontario, common law is like basically regarded as marriage. And if you live together for a year, unless you have a cohab agreement, he or she will literally own half your house. Regardless of whether they put money toward it or not. Okay, so there's some more comments from OOP in the comments section of the post. So how did the boyfriend find out? He found out because we went to visit my family in Italy, and my parents, grandparents, and the 2 sets of aunts and uncles that we visited all have a very large, lavish place. I live in a smallish apartment that suits my needs, but the difference between my apartment and my home back in Italy was very noticeable. He asked me what was up, and I told him my family's wealthy, but it's not something I try to let define me. I mean, it's also like none of anybody's business. If you choose not to live like that, and you choose to like live well below your means, then that is your choice. This dude is gonna bankrupt you. I'd be very, very, very careful. The relationship was pretty good up until he found out. I would hate to break up with him because I do love him and love being with him, but the way he's been acting and past experiences pretty much tells me things are only going to go south now. I was treated very well. I was happy, and yes, he has a consistent job. I will say that the fact that he does already feel entitled to your money is...
Danger!
by saying things like our money, that's already like a massive red flag. Huge red flag. You could try to talk to him and like make it known that like, listen, this is not how this is going to work. Maybe you could also be stronger with boundary setting. I honestly would doubt his motives from here on out, knowing that he could marry you and then, you know, even in that case, you got to get a prenup, right? Like, I would doubt his intentions and motivation going forward.
It looks questionable to me.
So there is an update. I didn't automatically dump my boyfriend. I decided I'd have a talk with him. I told him it was basically really inappropriate to find out I had money and start making demands. It is. It's very inappropriate. That should not change a thing. I told him I have no problems using my finances for our relationship, but he shouldn't automatically expect that I'm going to put out money on very expensive things for him just because. He should honestly be quite relieved that he doesn't need to like provide for you or take care of you. Like he needs to feel a little more relaxed about this whole financial burden thing rather than automatically being like, no, that's my money too. He already has it really good, but he's expecting too much.
You know how much I sacrificed?
So he seemed very ashamed and agreed that it was a really crappy thing to do, and he got carried away and a bit too excited. I told him I understood, but to do that was very disrespectful to me and the time we've shared together because it made me feel like all of a sudden my money is what mattered. For a little while, it seemed all was well. Then the other day, we were having a minor argument over something that turned into a bigger argument. And he said something along the lines of,
well, you don't even want to use what you have for us, so maybe you never cared about me.
see?
Ladies and gentlemen, I hate to say I told you so, but I just...
He's just gonna hold it over your head, dude. Caring about someone also goes both ways. If you care about someone, why are you asking that person to like foot the bill for your lifestyle?
Check, please.
Not wanting to like spend tens of thousands of dollars, maybe hundreds of thousands of dollars on your significant other that isn't even your husband doesn't mean you don't care about them. How about why doesn't he care about you to not want to do that or put you in that position? He got really quiet as though he knew that that was a crappy thing to say, and we didn't talk until 2 days later. I was very angry. I was going to talk things through with him. However, this came the relationship fatality. He told a couple people we're good with, despite me asking him to keep the money quiet, that I was really rich and could afford tons of... How did I find out? Saturday, we all went drinking together and he gets a bit too much in his system and orders an expensive bottle of wine. One of our friends was like,
Who orders that stuff? We're good with our beers and that's too expensive.
our other friend piped up and was like,
No, it's good. Family heiress is really rich. She can pick up our tab tonight.
cue several other people who I've never told about my family's money, suddenly grilling me on why I've never trusted them enough to tell them about my money. And oh, I thought we were friends, that kind of thing. This is literally why you don't tell people that you have money. They are literally showing you exactly why you do not tell people you have money.
Yeah, that sounds bad.
I broke up with him the next day. He's been blowing up my phone all day, but F him, I could have moved past what he said the other day when we were arguing. But to tell people I specifically asked him not to, something that I trusted him with so much, yeah, I've lost a 3-year relationship and I'm probably gonna lose a few friends as well. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily call them friends.
Past instances in which I professed to like you were fraudulent.
Money changes people, man. It's actually quite scary. It's quite scary. Most of the time, money changes people for the worse, but true wealthy people know that like keeping your finances a secret is the most important thing that you could possibly do. It is nobody's business but your own, and it is not part of polite conversation to talk about it, okay? Money makes people weird. Someone asked her if she paid for the wine. No, she left in a very pissy mood. As you should. I'd be so offended if someone literally was just like,
Oh, well, you're rich. You can pay for it.
pardon me?
Pardon me?
I feel like this is for the best, genuinely, because like if you had money before, you sure as hell won't have money if you stay with him.
'Cause I have $30,000 in credit card debt.
Here's an important comment. Just because somebody's family's rich doesn't automatically make them also rich. It's an awful lot for people to assume. It is, and you know, I think that it's pretty obvious that OP likes to live well below her means. And she's, you know, like careful with money. I'm sure that she could live in a bigger place if she wanted to, but it's like, just because your family has money does not mean that you also have money. And just because your family spends money in a certain way does not mean that you spend money in a certain way. A lot of wealthy people also do not spend money. Guess how they become wealthy? Because they don't spend money faster than they make it. So I'm glad you broke up with him. That was not a good situation. Nobody is ever entitled to your money. Whether you've earned it or whether you've inherited it, no one is ever entitled to what you have. But they sure as hell try to be, don't they? Am I the a-hole for backing out of babysitting a friend's kids at the last minute? Oh, I feel like I can admit that I'm one of the a-holes in this situation, but I guess I want to know if it's justified or not. So a week ago, I got a call from someone I would consider a friend. We're not super close, but we're friendly, and we get together with the same group of friends a lot. She called and said her kids were talking about how much fun they have with me and wanted to know if we were free this coming Saturday, a week and a half away at the time. My kids do like her kids, and I want to be better friends with her as well, so I said sure.
Can we please be friends?
She was relieved and said her husband would be out of town, so she needs a babysitter from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. Yeah, she left out that important piece of info on purpose. I felt like it was a major bait and switch because I thought she wanted to do something altogether, but I felt bad for backing out when I had already told her I was completely free that day. Yeah, that's an awkward position to be in. You can't exactly be like,
No, I'm busy. Sorry.
But you just said that you were available.
Yeah, available to hang out, not for free labor.
I should have sent something right then, but I didn't. I mean, yeah, you could have literally been like, oh, I'm sorry. I thought that you were trying to like hang out. I didn't realize you were asking me to babysit your kids. Well, yesterday, I ran into a friend of mine and she asked if I was excited for Saturday. I thought that was weird because no, I'm not excited to babysit someone else's kids for 14 hours. But I said my kids were definitely excited. She said, oh good. Is your husband taking them to do something fun? Or who is watching them? Okay. To which I made a face and responded that I was watching them and she was the one who was confused and said, okay, so you're not coming? Hold on. Hold the frick on! Absolutely not. Is what's happening here what I think is happening? The mommy who asked you to babysit her kids went and made plans with your friends without you? Absolutely not. Well, last week, I didn't go to the end of year PTA meeting because I had just started my time of the month and I felt crummy and I didn't want to go. So I guess after the fact, some friends went out to lunch. They decided to plan a big girls' day to relax before the kids come back home all day for the summer. Going to the city, shopping, pedicures, eating at nice restaurants, etc. Oh, that sounds lovely. Too bad you weren't invited. And when it was brought up that I would probably love to go, this friend said she needed to talk to me about some PTA stuff I missed, so she would tell me about it when she called me. But instead, she decided to use me as her babysitter. Yeah, she didn't want you there. So I called the friend, and I told her I wasn't aware of the girls' day at the time and that I wouldn't be able to watch her kids after all. Ooh, that's good.
Get it, girl.
She asked if my husband could watch her kids too, which was a no. Dang, she really trying it. She started crying that she really needed this. And what would she do now since her husband won't be home and it's too late to find someone willing to watch 5 kids for 14 hours with no pay? I guess she just can't go then. Oh no. And then, once the tears weren't working, she just got angry. She said it was rude to back out of a commitment. You only committed to this commitment because you thought she was asking you to hang out. And furthermore, you also only agreed to this commitment because you thought that you had nothing else going on. She literally bait and switched you like more than once. She lied about needing a babysitter, and then she lied about the reasons why you were babysitting. If anyone's an awful friend here, it's her. My friends are all feeling super uncomfortable with this whole thing. We are typically a very happy, drama-free friend group, so I know no one wants to take sides, and now I'm wondering if I even go at all. So am I the a-hole for backing out of watching her kids when I committed to it already? I mean, I think it's kind of annoying that your friends are not backing you up here.
Oh, come on!
Like, all it takes is one word from one of these other outside people to, like, tell this friend that she's being really unreasonable. I think it's weird that nobody wants to back you up. I don't feel like this is fair to you at all. Obviously, your friend group isn't as drama-free as you say. It's true, we don't get together that often, and I know there's times some get together and others don't. It's not a big deal. But I'm beginning to wonder if maybe it's a little more tight-knit than I realized, and I'm just not a part of that in any way. I always tend to question why friends don't like if I have an issue with someone and like that person like hurts me, I always like tend to question why a friend doesn't back me up. And I'm not expecting a friend to back me up every time I have a problem, because let's be honest, I got lots of problems.
And modern problems require modern solutions.
But it's like, it makes you wonder why, right? Someone else said you should really question those friends siding with her. OP responded, that's been the most hurtful part of all of it. We're not the type of friend group that gets together all the time and live at each other's houses. We get together for birthdays every once in a while or after a meeting like this day. But I've known most of them since I've lived here for over a decade, so I thought we had some substance to our relationship. But no one is acting like it was super absurd. I mean, I feel like they just maybe low-key didn't want you there. Like, I like something just tells me that they're just getting together and gossiping about you.
Hey, Upper East Siders. Gossip Girl here.
I don't believe that. Okay, we do have an update. I had someone ask for an update on what I ended up doing, so here it is. I followed the advice from a lot of you to talk to one of the friends I'm closer to in the group to kind of get a feel for what's going on. She said she was kind of frustrated with everyone. After I had run into the friend, her name is Casey to make it less confusing, Casey filled everyone in on what happened. They all agreed that the mean friend, Jenny, shouldn't have lied or tricked me into watching her kids, but they all sympathized with her. I guess it is Jenny's 15th anniversary this weekend, but her husband forgot and had planned a boys' camping trip. So she was sad and angry with her husband, and they all knew she would really need a little getaway to cheer her up. Though it doesn't sound like anyone blamed me for not babysitting, they were disappointed for her and put all of their energy into making a plan for her to still be able to go. No one really seemed to bat an eye whether I was going to go or not, or care that I was sad, except for Sarah. However, when it came time to make final plans for everything, someone decided to do the math and realized that if I was going to come, we would no longer fit into the Suburban my friend Kim was going to drive. It's a 2-hour drive to the city, so taking one vehicle was definitely ideal. Sarah volunteered to drive her car and we would just take 2, but it all felt so forced and so uncomfortable that I ended up just backing out. Oof. No one wants to feel like they're not wanted.
Oh, yeah, no, you can't come because we, like, would rather just take one car.
That is so like, I'm sorry. I don't think that justifies actions at all. I don't like that. The fact that Sarah has to like push it and offer to drive her car so that you guys could all go to solve this numbers issue, I don't know, it's weird. It's weird to me that they're like,
It's just like way more convenient if we take one car.
convenient for who? The fact that they don't care that it's so inconvenient for them to take one car, but it's also like kind of hurtful for you to be like just this extra extremity that's inconveniencing people. I don't know. Doesn't sound like much of a friend group, honestly. So I guess I thought there was more substance to our friendship than they did. I don't think of them having anything against me or disliking me, but I'm realizing I'm just not that important to them. It was pretty disappointing and definitely opened my eyes. I mean, at least you don't have to do free babysitting. So all of that happened on Thursday, and I'm not gonna lie, I was pretty heartbroken by it all. I mean, yeah, they fully like excluded you and like were more worried about whether or not it was convenient for them to take like a Suburban than hurting your feelings.
How could you?
The next day when my husband came home for lunch, he told me to hurry and pack an overnight bag because he had booked a hotel room for me and my sister-in-law to go have our own girls' night. Yes! Yes! His mom and sister pulled up an hour later so his mom could watch the kids after my husband went back to work. And his sister, who's seriously just the best, and I had the best 24-hour getaway ever. Some people can be real jerks. I just feel so dang lucky that my husband and family aren't. You kind of have to have pity for, what's her name? Jenny? Who has a husband that it was her 15th anniversary. He booked a getaway with him and his friends on their 15th anniversary and didn't even think to like help her find someone to watch the kids so that she could have her own weekend. He just dumped them on her.
That sucks.
Yeah, I feel bad for her. I feel bad for her too, but just because you feel bad for someone does not mean that you have the right to like treat other people badly, you know? If it was so important that the friend go to this girls' night outing thing, why did nobody offer to babysit her children for her? It's very easy to be charitable with someone else's time. I mean, that is a very good point. I mean, they also didn't necessarily know that OP was the one babysitting, but now they do. Are you the a-hole for backing out of babysitting a friend's kids at the last minute? Nobody is an a-hole for backing out of babysitting a friend's kids for free for 14 hours, especially not after this story. My entitled sister was upset I bought the same car as her first car. And then she tried to steal the seat cover I bought for it until she realized she didn't like it. Okay. So apparently this happened like 20 years ago. OP is not in contact with this sister anymore. My first car in my name was an 87 Ford Escort. It was not in great shape and I never actually got to drive it on the road. I was a late bloomer in getting my driver's license. Same bestie. I also just don't have it yet. Mike is still teaching me. I didn't get it until I was 27. So my real first car as a driver was a 1993 Toyota Camry. Back then, I was around 19. I saw the Escort for sale outside of a mechanic shop for $300. My parents thought it was a good deal too, so I decided I was going to buy it. The moment my sister found out I was going to buy that car, she cried and claimed she'd wanted it. But she'd already had a running and driving car at the time, and I couldn't afford to buy the Escort anyway. It's always so embarrassing when like people act like 4-year-olds.
Oh, don't cry.
When they're like at their big age of like at least 15 or 16. Like it weirds me out. Like, do you not understand that you are literally behaving like a child? My sister was crying about wanting the Escort because her first car was a blue 89 Ford Escort when she was 16. But my first car was a blue Escort when I was 16. I really wanted it. Like that, there's no logic behind that statement. Like none. She went out of her way to buy it without permission from our parents. She was riding with our great-grandfather, saw the car for sale on the side of the road, stopped to look at it, and then bought it. Not only did our parents have to register the car in their names for her, they also had to help with insurance. The clutch also went bad in that car almost right away. My parents had to drop $900 to get the car fixed. And that's with a discount on parts our mother bought through her connections. And what did my sister do? What? She abused the hell out of that poor car. She drove it like a maggot, smoked in it when she was still underage, and filled it with trash. She got in a minor accident and messed up the front by driving it into a pole or something. Then sometime after that, the car got impounded and she didn't bother to try and get it back. Oh, she wanted it so badly, didn't she?
So badly.
She didn't want the car badly. She only wanted it because you wanted it, OP. She didn't care about it. It was just about getting something that you wanted. So the impound lot probably sold it as junk. I have no idea if my parents had to pay the impound lot for the unpaid fees either. They never told me. Back to me buying the 87 Ford Escort, and my sister was bitter. She was jobless and relying off her nasty boyfriend at the time. He was the guy she dated before meeting the guy she married and later divorced. Her ex-husband was the best thing to ever happen to her, but she messed up that marriage. Though that's not what this is about. Anyways, she couldn't buy the car, and I did, but she seemed to get over it. Seemed being the word. Uh-oh. She kept pointing out that I didn't have the skills for a manual transmission. Remarked that her Escort was newer than mine. Said I was copying her for getting the same car. Just like I copied her by being gifted a Game Boy in the 90s a year after she got a Game Boy. Yes. Everything in your life exists because your sister did it first.
You're a copycat.
Oh my God. Grow up. And she even went out of her way to point out many of the car's faults, which admittedly there were many, but it was my first car. I tried to at least fix it up. The mechanic shop I bought it from swapped out the heater core for cheap, and it ended up being used as a farm vehicle for hauling stuff instead of a road vehicle, until it was eventually sold for scrap. Also, there was another Escort of the same model for sale locally for the same price I got mine, and my sister didn't even try to buy it. Bestie, because it's not about the car. It's about the fact that you want it. Then one day, I walked into a discount store and I looked at the stuff in their auto section. They had a seat cover with glow-in-the-dark skulls in the pile for pretty cheap. Can't remember how cheap, $5 to $10 maybe, but I liked it, so I bought it. When I brought it home, I showed it to my sister before putting it in the Escort, and suddenly she started grabbing at the box the seat cover was in and saying, "Oh, you bought me a seat cover." Oh dear. Yeah, I see why you're no contact with this person. She gleefully wrenched it from my hands and started to leave with it, but then paused when she took a closer look at it. Then she turned around and tossed it back at me because she thought it was ugly since it had skulls on it. Okay, so she literally just wants everything that you have or want. unless she doesn't want something, in which case you can just keep it. She even looked bitter and said she didn't want it before huffing off. Later, she tried to say it was all a joke, that she wasn't actually trying to take it. And she stuck to that story. But I know my sister. This was another one of her attempts at a power move. She was definitely trying to take it away. Probably just to see what I'd do to get it back. At her big age, embarrassing.
Embarrassing.
And I wouldn't be surprised if she did it because I'd bought the escort she wanted. That's just the sort of petty person she is. Petty, but not in a good way, babes. This is like strange. This is weird. She's been through more cars than she can even remember. Counting back, she went through like 7 cars in 10 years. Sounds like someone who gets away with acting like a child. Time to meet reality. This is the thing, right? Like, this to me screams someone that was never told no. Because we're monkeys, right? We're the monkeys, we're the gorillas. We try to get the peanut, right? We're getting the peanut to get the cookie or like the money or whatever. We're trying to get the peanut. We do different things to get the peanut, right? If you learn that certain ways of like getting the peanut gets you the peanut, you're gonna keep doing those things to get the peanut, right? If you are taught eventually that doing the things to get the peanut no longer gets you the peanut, you will stop doing those things that you once did to get the peanut. You know what I mean?
I don't know, man.
And I'm sorry, but if you have learned that this is the way to get the peanut, you're gonna keep behaving that way. So basically, if it's something you have, she wants it. If she can't have it, she wants to ruin it. Classic sibling chaos. I love how she tried to act like the seat cover heist was a joke when it didn't go her way. Transparent AF. Yeah, that's about right. Duh. Yeah, it makes sense why you don't want to deal with like an adult child. I wouldn't want to do that either.
Subscribe!